So Spawn. If you've come to the channel with any regularity, you would know I have been discussing the Todd McFarlane Spawn movie reboot thing for a really long time. Every little update that drops, I do videos on, generally speaking. But I stopped for a while because I realised it wasn't going to go anywhere. I've got the script for Spawn, the movie. Spawn's barely in it. I did a video on it. At one point, he's literally a bed. And he mostly appears just as fog. Like a gas, I guess. And this is a movie that has been pushed massively by Todd McFarlane. And I have categorically said I doubt it's going to happen. Mainly just because it's all well and good people saying, oh, he's a creative genius, he's a force, he's an auteur, he's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. It's predominantly because financiers won't trust him. You know, he's a first-time director outside of music videos. He's a first-time director and he's going to want a reasonable amount of money for this. He's not backing it himself. And they just will see it as a massive risk. Of course they will. Especially now in a post-COVID world where they have to increase the budgets even more to deal with all of the restrictions that have been put in place through insurers and things. And I think this next bit of the news basically confirms what I have been saying. Now, I'm not saying it absolutely does, but it would look that way. We are getting a Sam and Twitch TV show, supposedly. Now, just wait, because that's like, wow, Sam and Twitch. It has no streamer. This is in the same early stages that any Todd McFarlane project has ever and has always been in, i.e. he announces something and it doesn't come to fruition. Now, I know a lot of people will point to his figurines, for instance, as the things that he does that does very, very well and successfully. Well, a whole bunch of people haven't actually got their figures recently for the latest Spawn figure, and a whole bunch of people that have got them are very disappointed with them. In fact, the quality is nowhere near as good as what was one advertised, but also the figure it was based off of. So that sort of comeback is not that good. But let's dive into this, shall we? This is just, honestly, let's have a look, right? And I tell you what I dislike about this is that the Hollywood Reporter, where I'd snagged this little bit of information from, is just saying it as if it's a given. It's not a given. It's not going to happen. Todd McFarlane is building out the world of Spawn. The comic book creator is developing a live-action TV series based on Sam and Twitch, two detectives that first appeared in the pages of Spawn #1 in 1992 and then became stars of their own book. It might happen, but if you remember, Twitch was supposed to be the lead character in this Spawn movie. It was supposed to be Sam and Twitch, and Spawn would show up on the peripherals of this movie. That's how this was done, right? That's actually how the script is as well. So unless he's now reworking the script entirely, I think the movie's dead, and he's trying to get this made instead. To gauge interest in Spawn, I guess, but also to use this as then leverage to financiers to say, please fund my movie. The indie studio Whip is teaming on the project with Jason Smilovi and Todd Katzenberg penning the adaptation. The duo are known as the showrunners of Condor, the Epix adaptation of the 1975 film 3 Days of the Condor. And they are also writing the upcoming Jennifer Lopez Netflix film The Cypher, an adaptation of Isabella Malderini's novel. They will executive produce along with McFarlane for McFarlane Films and Whip's Paul Lee and Mark Roybal, who both recently launched HBO's Mayor of Easttown. Now, there is still no streamer attached. There's no distributor attached to this. I will say, this having other people writing it is more positive than Todd writing the Spawn movie. And I can kind of see what Todd is doing here. He's realised that he can't get his movie made because he won't fund it himself, even though he's a multi-millionaire. He won't fund it himself, and because of that, he is then going, right, well, what was the issue? Well, I probably wrote the script. It wasn't very good, because it's not a very good script. There we go. Get some other people to write it then. They'll also drop in as, you know, producers, showrunners, etc., etc., and then boom, I don't have anything to do with it. We can take this to someone else, and then they'll probably green light it, which is actually really quite smart. Make no mistake, that is actually quite smart. This has more potential chance of seeing the light of day than the Spawn movie. Genuinely. Now, no studio or streamer is attached to Sam and Twitch. Yeah. But it comes as McFarlane is mulling shopping a Spawn shared universe around Hollywood. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gents. Todd once again wants to run before he can walk. It's very early days, and he has only begun conversations with his agents, but McFarlane believes he is in a unique position to offer something with a track record built over decades, and which has grown to include hundreds of characters and sold hundreds of millions of books. I can't see this being successful. I just can't. And it's not because I don't like Spawn, because I do. I do like Spawn. I just can't see this being successful. McFarlane notes, the Hollywood's most successful shared universes, Marvel, DC and Star Wars, had the groundwork laid for them over decades by hundreds or even thousands of creators. In the case of Marvel and DC, movie success didn't come until decades of publishing, merchandising and general brand awareness in the public consciousness. He believes Spawn, which is nearly 30, is reaching that point. The absolute balls on this man. He has huge stones. Spawn is, like, I don't even like Marvel or DC, right? I like certain bits and pieces of them, but on a whole, I'm not a fanboy of either of them. I grew up on different comic books, you know, Top Cow, Dark Horse, 2000 AD, for instance. But even I'm not an idiot to believe that they are on the same level of brand awareness that Marvel and DC has. How do you think that, Todd? I'm so incredibly shocked. It is baffling. The utter ego on this man. It's just monumental. But there we go. Anyway, so he drops in here. We've got a quote from him. Could there be a third or fourth big shared universe? Possibly. But is it going to happen fast with one or two individuals? No, McFarlane tells the Hollywood Reporter. It's going to be a long, multi-creator group that is just going to spread your creative seeds and stand back and hope it grows into a forest. Okay. McFarlane, who also co-wrote Venom during his days at Marvel, has a long history with Hollywood. Spawn was adapted into a film. Less said about that, the better. Later turned into an HBO animated series that ran in the late 90s. Since 2017, he has been developing a Spawn feature. Since 2017, ladies and gents. We're 4 years down the line on this movie. Anyway, so he's been doing that at Blumhouse. That would mark his directorial debut and would star Jamie Foxx as Spawn and Jeremy Renner as Twitch. So the comic creator notes that his partners on the Blumhouse Spawn are soon going to be seeking a studio partner on that movie. Then the conversation will be if that studio just wants Spawn or if it would like some more. McFarlane plans on coming armed with data that he is privy to as president of Image Comics, which publishes Spawn. And look at this epic end quote. I'll be able to load up the data, both on a creative and on a brand name and a longevity name and sales data, compared to other popular comic properties. I can't... It's almost like George Lucas, right? Like George Lucas on the prequels. He was surrounded by yes men, right? Constantly. Yes men, yes men, yes men. Oh, should I do this? Yeah, man. No worries. Does this look good? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then it comes out, it's just garbage. You know, whatever you think of him. It's like Todd is genuinely... He either sits there, like in the South Park episode, you know, farts into a cup and just smells them because he loves himself that much. Or he is absolutely surrounded by yes men that just cannot control him. Spawn is not on the same level as Marvel or DC. What are you talking about? I don't particularly like either of them, but I'm not, you know, I'm not moronic enough to believe that Spawn is on that level. I love Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd is not on the level of Marvel or DC. It's just not. You know, like, that's a no-brainer. So here we go. Are we actually getting a Sam and Twitch TV series? No, we're not. It doesn't have anything. There's nothing attached to it. It's just announced that it is in development. But with no distributor, no streaming platform, it could just fall apart completely. So there you go. There's the news. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. And if you stayed this long, you clearly enjoyed the video. So please do hit that thumbs up button. It actually really does help the channel out. I know I keep saying it, but please do, because it does help the channel out. We've got memberships open here on the channel. You can find that linked in the description box. You get benefits like exclusive members-only live streams and members-only playthroughs. Would love to have you there because it does support the channel. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Cheers. Take care.